Okay, we want to get our view to look something like this. Okay, and what we've done is, I go to my layer manager here. We have frozen, or sorry, turned off the layers from vNode down to vPlant tree edge. Okay, this just gives us a more clearer view of our three lots so that we can use some of the more advanced parcel creation tools. All right, so we're going to go over here now and we're going to click on Parcel Creation Tool. And in here, we're going to set some values. Okay, these are kind of rules that we're going to use to help us create parcels. Okay, so the computer is going to use, the software is going to use these rules to help create these parcels. Okay, so the first one we want to look at is the minimum area. Okay, so we're going to do this as 14,375. Okay, the minimum frontage, we'll keep it 60. Frontage offset, okay, that's that front line, and we use this as our building setback. In other words, you can't put your house any closer. We're going to change this one to 20. Okay, we're going to keep the other values the same. Okay, maximum frontage, we're going to say no. Okay, so it's not going to use the maximum depth. Okay, sometimes we want that because we want to limit how much it is or not. Multiple solutions, we're going to use the shortest frontage. And when using the automatic layout, which we are, okay, we have a couple options in there. One of them is where we take the leftover amount, we just add it to the last parcel, which makes a rather large parcel. You can create a parcel from that, which then just creates this nice little skinny parcel. That could be an option if you just want to use this as common land, any number of reasons. But we're going to choose the option, the third option of redistributing that remainder over the other lots, which is really nice because it'll take all that extra area and then go back and redo all the lots and just make them a little bit bigger so that they don't have that little remainder. Again, these are all the rules that we're going to use to create these lots. Okay, so let's look at how this is going to do. We'll shrink this down, and we're going to come over here and we're going to use these tools here. Okay, if we click on these, okay, and you hover over, these are the layout automatic tools we're going to use. And the first one we're going to do is the swing line create. Okay, and click on this to start that. And you'll notice this lot comes up. Okay, and we're going to keep these as is. Okay, anytime we create a parcel, you get this option. Definitely want to make sure it's put on development. You keep property style. We are not going to add segment lengths this time. And we'll keep this. Again, we can always go back and change this. And we'll do parcel names. That's all good here. And we're going to hit OK. And it's going to ask, okay, what parcel do we want to divide up? Okay, and the parcel we want to divide up is this one here, parcel 3. Okay, and then it says, okay, where do we want to start this on the frontage? And for us, our frontage is this edge of my right-of-way on this side. And what we want to do, and again, what I'm using is I'm going to use the endpoint, midpoint. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to just turn these off because that can be a little disconcerting sometimes and jumps to other points. So if I want to call up the endpoint, I just go shift and then I choose endpoint. That's what we want to do in this case. And I'm going to start it here. And so this is the frontage we're going to use to create these. And again, what we're using is called the swing line. And we use swing lines when we have it about a pivot point. And our pivot point is right here. And it's going to radiate out from that point. And so the next point on the frontage we want to have is pretty close to 90 degrees from here. So we want to just project out as close as we can to a point here. So this is the frontage we want to use. And I click. And that's the frontage of my lots. And now it's saying specify the swing point. Again, that's this point right here, okay, where it radiates out these lot lines. And again, I'm going to hold shift down, I'm going to go to endpoint, and I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to select this endpoint. And then you zoom back out, and you should see we have created from this big parcel, we've added 3 lots here. So go ahead and accept these results, okay? And just say yes, accept results, yes. And there it is. It has now created those 3 parcels using that swing line. And again, the swing line, you notice, is usually around curves and roads, and it radiates out from a common point and connects to it, and it's going to follow the rules that we established with those minimum square footages, setbacks, and so on. Okay, now we're going to use a different tool to subdivide this property. While the swing tool, the swing line, is good for the inside of curves especially, we're going to use a different tool here. So we're going to use, again, partial creation tool. You'll notice that the settings are still there as before, so we're going to keep those. And we're going to use the slide line creation tool. In other words, it's going to slide down around here and create these parcels. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to save. We'll use the same as we did before. Definitely make sure it's on development, property, no automatic tools, or excuse me, labels added. We're going to hit OK. Shrink it down, and it says, okay, let's select parcel to divide. And then it's asking me, where do you want to start? Okay, and I want to start right at this endpoint where we left off. And then it's going to look, it's going to go all the way around, and I want to select the endpoint here. All right, and so that's where it's going to create them from. That's the frontage it's going to use. And the next question it asks is specify the angle. This is the angle at which these sidelines will come in to this frontage. So I want to specify this line here. Okay, this is parcel 7 from A. This is that line there I want to mimic so they're all parallel. So I'm going to choose the endpoint here. And I'm going to go all the way back and choose this guy right there. So it's mimicking, paralleling that. And I look at that and I'm like, okay, that's good. That's exactly what I can go ahead and accept those results. And now I have subdivided this parcel into, how many do I have now? 25 lots, okay, on here. Okay, now we're going to divide the last parcel, parcel 4, using the same techniques as before, keeping all the same defaults. Okay, so that's all good. Using the sling line creation tool, so we're all going to use that. And again, that's all good. Going to select this one, and then the frontage is going to be this one right here, this point. And we're going to make sure we're traveling along this frontage. And I'll just pick this endpoint here. That's a good spot, so that's nice. And then the angle, okay, is going to go from endpoint to here to that endpoint here. Okay, you look at it, and that looks good. We're going to accept these defaults and say yes. And then escape, and there we go. We've got all our parcels done for this one.